Okay. All right. What's up, Tammy? Tammy Ark Wolf. Good to see you. Breckles here hanging out. It's Lulu earnings today as well. Yeah, we can look that up for sure. And I'm officially live. Give it a couple moments for people to jump into the stream here. Let me see if Lulu's reporting as well. Yeah, Lulu reports as well at 4:05. So AVGO and Costco, I'm showing they report at 4:15. Lulu reports at 4:05. There's a few others reporting. The big ones though, AVGO, Lulu, and Cost. So maybe we'll go over all three of those today. Since AVGO and Costco don't report till 4:15, so we might as well go over Lulu. We got about 5 more minutes. I'll go ahead and click on that. Let's see. So Lulu will be the first one then. Forecast EPS $2.22. Forecast revenue $2.49 billion. They're trading above their anchor view up right now, or as of today. Broadcom, which is AVGO, forecast EPS $1.87. Forecast revenue $17.5 billion. They're also trading above their anchor view up, above $400 a share. Costco, forecast EPS $4.26. Revenue $67.15 billion. They're trading below their anchored view up. Costco is a monster stock right now. Costco closed the regular session $884.41 a share. AVGO closed the regular session $406.77 a share. Costco was actually green today, up a little over 1%. AVGO was red today. That's because they had some little selling and pre-market. Tried to recover before the opening bell, but that opening move on AVGO was quite a bit of selling there. Dropped from 408 all the way down to 394, and then obviously that dip got bought up. But because of the pre-market and the opening move, even with them kind of running into close, they were still down 1.5%. But let's just see. Let's look at Lulu real quick because they're reporting here in a few minutes. Okay, Lulu had some kind of pretty ugly price action today. Sold off in pre-market. Opening move was bullish. Then came almost all the way back down. And it was a little choppy, then ran into close. So bit of indecision on Lulu throughout the day today. But they're reporting here in about 2 more minutes. Let's look at some of their stuff and see what condition the company's in going into this earnings. A few fundamental aspects and financial aspects. So trailing 12-month PE 12.7, EPS 14.7. Their EPS is more than their PE ratio. That's funny. Free float 108 million. Let's see, income statement. Let's look at the summary here. Okay, so Lulu is a profitable company. They're based out of Canada. And they specialize in athletic apparel, footwear, and accessories. Let's see, they've been listed since 2007. So they've been around for a little bit. They got positive net income. It ranges from like 370 million to like 400 million. This quarter here, they brought in 748 million. I mean, it's basically a retail company, so Q4 is always going to be a good quarter for them. Balance sheet, 41% debt to asset ratio. That's pretty good. Okay, it's 4:04 p.m. I think we got just, 45 more seconds, and we should get Lulu's data should drop. Let me get my other screen ready, so when we get EPS revenue, I'll give that to everyone as soon as I get it. Any guidance, any commentary from the CEO or CFO? We'll find out when exactly they're going to do their web call. Well, they're based out of Canada, so the times won't be the norm. Usually earnings web calls are around 5 p.m. Eastern, stuff like that. But we'll see what they're going to do. This company's from Canada. Blue Brains, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. It's Thursday. Week's almost over. One more trading day. Hope everyone's been having a good week. My week's been good. Wow, look at that volatility that just hit Lulu. Looked like it wanted to pop there for a second and then just came right back down. That candle's kind of flickering a bit. Look at that. Look at that candle. Let me go TradingView with this thing. Go 1 minute chart. Yeah, Lulu should be releasing their data. It should be out like now. I think it just got released. It was supposed to be 4:05 p.m. Eastern for Lulu. So it's 4:05 now. So pretty sure the data's out. Got the candle flickering a bit. Jumping around like a jumping jack right now. But there's obviously selling going on. So let's just give it a second. I mean, it's down $8 a share right now. So usually, if this wasn't the real move, it usually reverse back up pretty quickly. Okay, there we go. Wow, look at that green candle. Okay, there we go. See, that's why we give it a few minutes. This looked like it was going to sell off pretty good, and now it's going back the other way. Went from being down $8 a share. Now it's up over $10 a share. Price is still jumping around, kind of volatile right now. So Costco, I'll pull that up. Costco doesn't report until 4:15. Okay, so we got about 10 more minutes for Costco. That's for my friend Wiser Investments there on X. Costco's actual earnings web call, I don't think it's going down until like 4:30 or 5. But let me get that information for you. Maybe Merry Christmas to you, Blue Brains. I appreciate it. Let me find out when Costco's earnings web call is. This is for Wiser Investments on X. Let me just take a look real quick. December 11th. Okay, here it is here. I'm gonna keep Lulu on the right because that's the one that's got action right now. Here, I'm gonna post this link for you, Wiser Investment. Maybe it'll save you some time. Put that in the comments. Put it on the bottom of my screen for a little bit, give you time to screenshot it. But as soon as you go to that link, boom, right on the home page, just scroll down a little bit. Got the webcast right here. Let's see what time it is. Okay, 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so that's what I thought. So got a little under an hour before they're gonna actually do their earnings web call. But we will get Costco's data in about 8 more minutes. So we'll get the reaction to the data first. And then, of course, Costco's earnings web call is until 5 p.m. Eastern. So I just like to come on here. I do these streams every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I don't really stream the actual earnings web calls. But I like to go over the reaction to the data, go over the EPS, revenue, guidance, commentary, stuff like that, which kind of leads into the earnings call that they do a little bit later. So hope that information was helpful for you. Wiser Investments on X. Yeah, Blue Brain said he had a buy order at 177. Oh man, you just missed it by $1. That would have been nice if you would have caught that. What's the bigger time frames look like on Lulu? 177. Yeah, it kind of puts it like to the bottom of these wicks here. So yeah, 177 would have been a nice fill, I think. But everyone be careful, you know, when trading these in the after hours. Of course, we can't do market orders. We gotta play with the mouse a bit with the limit orders. Costco, no, I'm not currently swinging Costco, but I normally trade spreads on it because it's, you know, $800, $900 stock. And the reason why I do spreads on Costco is because I want to participate in the strike prices that are at the money or in the money, but I don't want to fork over a ton of money for those options. So I'd rather just form a spread. That way it dramatically reduces my buying power needed. Does it cap my upside with the spread trade? Yeah, my upside's capped. But with the right kind of spread, you can still get triple digit returns on those things. Talking more about debit spreads. Out of the money credit spreads aren't going to pay triple digits, but you could set up a neat debit spread trade on Costco. I'll kind of give you an example here. Let me put Costco over here. I just want to look at the option chain, kind of let you know what I'm talking about. So like Costco, for example, even tomorrow's expiration, only 1 day to expiration. Look at these at the money calls, you know, selling for $1,400. And I don't like to fork out that much money. So easy way to trade this would be, you could set up a call debit spread where you can still participate in this 880 strike, which would be in the money, and then this 885 strike. I usually like to straddle the underlying stock price in between my spread when I open it. This would be if I'm bullish on it, but real easy to calculate the metrics of the debit spread. So how the call debit spread on Costco would work, I would buy to open the 880. I'll just go off the bid prices, just it'll be easier for math here. So you buy to open the 880. That would cost $1,615, right? It's a lot of money for a lot of people. The way to reduce your buying power is just form 5-wide spread. So buy to open the 880 on the very same trade ticket. You sell to open the 885. You would need a margin account for this to trade spreads. But if you buy to open the 880 and that costs $1,615, but simultaneously sell to open the 885, you'll actually get a $1,400 credit for that 885 call. So that's going to be a credit that will go against the debit for the 880. So $1,615, and then minus the 885 credit, you would get around about $1,400. So that means I can now trade these strikes that are close to the money. And for this particular trade, you only need $215 for it. And what I was saying earlier is, I mean, $215 is a lot less than needing $1,400, right? So that's why I like trading these spreads. Now back to what I was saying about the upside being capped a little bit. This is what I'm talking about, because the 5-wide spread, the most value that's ever going to be worth is $500, right? It's 5-wide spread, $100 for every dollar. So if the most I can make is 500, and then minus out the debit I paid for the debit spread, that means I can pull in a $285 profit, plus we get the $215 back. We'll get our original debit back because the whole spread's worth 500. So if the spread works out, you just need Costco above 885 by tomorrow, and then you would yield a $285 return off of a $215 investment, which you do get back. That's 132% return on that debit spread. So trade your portfolio accordingly, but I'll usually do a few of these. You can do like a handful of these depending on your portfolio size, and you can easily capture a triple-digit return on these spreads. So just wanted to explain that a little bit. I don't know if my buddy Weiser on X, you may be already familiar with debit spreads, but I'm glad you kind of engaged a little bit and made me think about explaining that, because there's probably a lot of other people on the stream right now that weren't really sure what a debit spread is and how they work, right? So I appreciate that. But anyways, let's look at Lulu. There, okay, so it's 4:14. Costco and AVGO are going to report in about 40 seconds. We'll get their reaction. Just real quick, let me just see what the EPS and revenue was on Lulu, if they beat the forecasts or not. I'm assuming they did. Also, kind of breaking news with Lulu, Calvin McDonald is going to step down as the CEO. So that's some news there. And the board also approved a $1 billion increase to the stock repurchase program. Okay, so they're increasing the stock repurchase program for Lulu. And they did beat revenue, the forecast revenue. Okay, here's Costco on the left. They're starting to move here too. Let me go back to TradingView. There we go. I'll go 1 minute chart. It's fine. Okay. I'll put my volume profile on there, just kind of see where the volume's coming in at on this thing. I mainly trade volume and price action. I'll use a few indicators. RSI for strength. I'll use some EMAs for crossovers and stuff like that. But Lulu looks good. Look at this. So they beat revenue. They announced and they approved and announced a $1 billion increase to the stock repurchase program. The CEO, Calvin McDonald, is stepping down. In the meantime, the board chair, the person's name is Marty Morfitt, has been appointed executive chair. I'm assuming until they find a new CEO, or maybe they already got someone in mind for that. But okay, so double beat for Lulu. Again, EPS forecast was 2.22. They reported 2.59, so double-digit beat on EPS. Revenue forecast 2.48 billion. They reported 2.56 billion. So double beat for Lulu. It's looking like a grats to the Lulu Bulls. Doesn't look like this is coming back down anytime soon. Like I say, usually when we get the reversals with the earnings catalyst, it usually happens pretty quickly. I'm going to pull AVGO up, and then I'll pull Costco back up here in a second. Costco kind of frozen in time here. Okay, it's getting a move now. Let me just post the let me read some commentary from the CEO and the CFO for Lulu just real quick, and then I'll jump to Costco and Broadcom. So the CEO, Calvin McDonald, who is stepping down, but so this will probably be his last commentary for earnings related stuff. But he says, in the third quarter, our teams remained focused on driving improvements within our U.S. business and maintaining momentum in our international regions. We are beginning to make progress against our action plan and continue to expect to see the impact of this work in 2026. As we enter the holiday season, again, Lulu, big retailer, right? As we enter the holiday season, we're encouraged by our early performance, and I would like to thank all of our Lulu team members for their hard work and dedication to our guests and communities. And that's all the CEO really had to say. Again, they announced he's stepping down. Wiser on X says, when does it go wrong though? Are you talking about the debit spread? Because the debit spread that I was showing everyone, you would need a bullish move. So you basically want the spread above 885. So if the underlying stock price of Costco is not above 885, I mean, there's a little sliver of profit there because of the debit you paid, but you basically want the underlying stock price above the spread. It can go wrong if the underlying stock price ends up below the spread at expiration. So in that example I was given with that call debit spread, you don't want the price of Costco below 880. So that would just be a trade if you were bullish on it, right? There's also spread trades you could do if you're bearish, right? So you could just do, instead of a call debit spread, you could do a put debit spread. That would be a bearish trade. If you're on the credit spread side, a neutral to bullish trade would be a put debit spread. Some people say, well, you're trading puts. Why? How are you neutral to bullish? Well, that's because technically you're short the put and receiving credit ultimately on the trade. So put credit spread would be neutral to bullish. A call credit spread would be neutral to bearish because you're technically short the call. So just some things I teach in the Discord over here as the options coach. Okay, so we got Lulu. Lulu had a double beat. Congrats to the Lulu Bulls. I'm not going to go too much further into Lulu because the main ones I wanted to see was Costco and Broadcom. So let me pull AVGO back up. But it is looking like a congrats to the Lulu Bulls. All right, so let me go back here. And we obviously look at AVGO, got a positive reaction. That's good to see. $400 stock. Let me see where some of these levels are at because it's kind of pulling back a little bit, but that's okay. Probably pull this to kind of like it like right here. So it's pulled back about 38% now. 50% retrace would be around 415 a share. The golden ratio pullback level on the fib would be 413.50, around there. So for the Broadcom or AVGO bulls, you don't want to see this retrace back down below 413.50 because then it'll just fade the whole move, right? More than likely, that's probably what will happen if it breaches that level. There's a little bit of selling coming in right now. Nonetheless, it's still up over $9 a share. Okay, up $8 and some change now. Of course, post market's live right now, so it's changing as I'm talking. Let's see here. All right, so let me look at Costco. We'll get their data first because they're getting a negative reaction, so investors aren't too thrilled about data, are they? Costco did double beat though. Someone on X says, never bet against how much America loves hot dogs. All right, let me post this Costco data because they did double beat, but obviously there's something negative there. So let me see if I can find out what the negativity is. But let me post this data on the bottom of my screen. There we go. That's for Costco. So they did get a double beat. Looks like they got some red flags on their quarter over quarter numbers. So yes, they double beat. The year over year numbers, there is a little growth there, but they got crushed on quarter over quarter. So kind of like a short-term looking view. Investors aren't liking that shorter term view on Costco. EPS was down 23% quarter over quarter, and revenue was down 22% quarter over quarter. So even though they double beat the expected numbers, they got some trouble on the shorter term view here with quarter over quarter. Let me see what else I can find on this. Adjustable comparable sales growth for Costco, 6.4%. Net income was just $2 billion, almost to the dollar. Net sales for $65.9 billion. So yeah, net income, they got $2 billion there. Obviously profitable company. And let's see, net income. Let me read a few other things here. So the net sales increased by 8.2%. So got a little growth on that front. Also for Costco, the year's results included a tax benefit of $72 million. Just something to note there. Overall, their earnings aren't terrible, but they got some issues with the quarter over quarter numbers. I think that's, it's affecting investors in a negative way right now. It's looking like it wants to bottom out a little bit here. It's actually printing some green candles now. Let me turn off this volume profile real quick just so I can adjust the chart when I need to. All right. Let's see what this looks like. I'm not going to count that green candle up there because that wasn't the real move. Just going to go to like, yeah, it's like probably right there. All right. Costco doing a good job retracing back up. Look at this thing. Starting to fish hook back up. So far, it doesn't look like a dead cat bounce, does it? Looks like it's being reclaimed. It's a little bit of a dip buy on Costco going on right now. Support levels on the smaller time frames, of course. I'm on the 1 minute chart, but it's kind of the only data we have to go off of since they just released the earnings data, right? So that's really the only time I use the 1 minute chart is right after a catalyst. I'll pop it on there and see some quick price action here, but support levels, want to say, let's see here. I'm going to call it probably 880 a share. Like to see it stay above there. It's trading at 883 right now. 880 a share for the bulls. Would love for that level to hold. You definitely don't want it going back below 875-ish. Look at Broadcom. There was some selling going on, but you can see all these bottom wicks. So there's people buying this dip here. Look at Costco, about to 100% retrace this sell move. That's impressive. All right, so I got Costco's data on the bottom of my screen. Wow, it's almost 4:30. Time just flew by. I feel like I just started the stream. Jeez. All right, I want to see if there's any let me find out when Costco's going to do their call. Oh wait, we already found that out. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern. And for those interested in watching the earnings web call, I'm going to put that link right there for everybody. And then also, can't forget about my Discord peeps. Breckle, thank you for posting some of that Lulu data for me. I appreciate it, brother. Brutal Trades in the house on Discord. Good to see you. Brutal's been writing contracts with me for the past several months. Making that income, that rinse and repeat, the rinse and repeatable weekly or monthly income. That's what I'm after. Of course, everyone knows I mainly write contracts. I'm basically a theta trader, right? Most of the profit I get is from time decay. I love theta. Unlike a lot of people out there trying to day trade every day, they hate theta. Theta's my friend. Me and theta are best buddies. Brutal says, love trading with you. I appreciate the kind words, my friend. I just want that slow and consistent drip. If I can get, I was talking about this earlier, if I can get 3% return on my portfolio every month or so, I'm a happy camper. You can consistently do that for a whole annual year. You're going to beat the S&P annual return by 3x or more. That's what I'm after. Look at Broadcom. A little bit of a bull flag action. Now it's coming back up to test, might be coming up to test after hours high. All right, so we got Costco's data. I just want to see if there's anything else I can share before they do their earnings web call in about 30 minutes. Let's see. I just keep going back to that meme I saw. America loves their hot dogs. I'm going to jump over to AVGO. That looks like a winner to me. It's looking like a so, and let me check back on Lulu again. I just want to see if it held up that positive move. Yeah, it sure did. Look at that. They just made a new after hours high. So definitely grats to the Lulu bulls. And it's looking like a grats to the AVGO bulls. Wow, we got over almost 1,300 people tuning into the stream. I appreciate y'all. Let's take a look at Broadcom. Let's see what the deal is with them. Obviously, investors are loving it. All right, let's see here. My buddy Shy Balor on X. He posted some good data for everyone. So they AVGO double beat. They beat the sales revenue by like $500 million. Impressive. Let me post AVGO's earnings results. And my buddy Breckle on Discord says KO, Coca-Cola gets a new CEO as well. Yeah, what's going on in the CEO world? There's a few CEOs stepping down or getting replaced lately. Let me post this data for AVGO in the comments here for everyone. Let me put this on the bottom of my screen. There we go. There's AVGO. So the estimate for sales revenue is 17.46 billion. They just reported a little over 18 billion on the sales revenue front. EPS forecast was $1.87. They reported $1.95. Investors are loving it. Some key points about Broadcom for the AVGO investors out there. They increased Q1 guidance. That's what investors want to see. We're forward looking. Any increase in guidance is going to really excite investors, and it sure has. AVGO, again, they closed the regular session at $406.37. They were down 1.6% on the day, but that's okay. It's a $400 stock, you know. $418.40 is what they're trading at in after hours right now. It's changing while I'm talking, but they're up about $12 a share, up almost 3%. So even being down 1.6% during the regular session, that's obviously been retraced with this post-market price action. So the Q1 guidance for AVGO, this is exciting for AVGO bulls. Q1 guidance, the estimate was 18.3 billion, and they just reported 19.1 billion for the guidance for Q1. That's exciting for AVGO bulls. They also beat margin. The estimate was 66%. They reported 67%. Also, big line item that investors want to see with AVGO, the AI sales. That's something that, you know, investors wanted to know. AI sales came at $8.2 billion. They doubled up year over year. That's double from last year, same time last year. So great results by AVGO. Costco doesn't do their web call until 5 p.m. Eastern. Got 30 minutes before you'll be able to listen in on that. But let's look at AVGO. Here's a graphic from the earnings correspondent. So again, double beat. They beat EPS, beat revenue. Double-digit year-over-year growth and double-digit quarter-over-quarter growth. So this is just kind of green across the board for them, which is great. Yeah, that's Wiser on X. That's kind of what I'm thinking too is, you know, they get an initial move when the data drops. So we saw that, which was bearish. Actually, it actually was positive, but that wasn't the real move. The real initial move was this down move here. It's done a great job retracing back up. I mean, it's only like $2 a share below where it closed the regular session. So great job on Costco recovering, retracing all these levels back up. I mean, it basically retraced 100%. Came up here and tapped 885 just a few moments ago. But yeah, usually what we see is we'll get the initial move. And then, yeah, sometimes we see a little choppiness leading up to the earnings call. And then once the earnings call starts and they start giving more clarity on the guidance, then yeah, we a lot of times we'll see a secondary move. So probably won't see much more volatility on Costco until we hit 5 p.m. and that earnings call starts. So that's what I think on that. But AVGO, impressive earnings, double beat, double-digit year-over-year growth and quarter-over-quarter growth, and they increased guidance. So that's just a beautiful recipe for the bulls there. And you can see it kind of bull flagged a little bit, and then it pattern confirmed and came up a little higher. Didn't make another leg up yet, though. Still needs to come up and test after hours high. It's right around 424 a share. Then this is for Broadcom. So not much else going on with Costco until we get the earnings web call at 5 p.m. Eastern. For AVGO, let me take a look at this. I'm going to post their EPS and revenue for everybody. I'll post it in the Discord first. Okay, and Breckel on Discord said, you hear astronomer is still looking for a CEO. Yeah, notice some CEO changes being made lately. All right, I'll post this in the comments. This is the AVGO double beat. I'll put that on the bottom of my screen. But congrats to the AVGO bulls. Let me find out when their earnings web call is. It's probably at 5 o'clock. Sometimes they do, if they announce at 4, they'll do the call at 4:30. Sometimes, a lot of times it's 5. They want, investors to kind of digest the raw data a little bit before they actually do the call, probably. So let me just see when AVGO is going to do theirs. A little after 4:30 right now. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, this is the link. If anyone wants to take a deeper dive into their earnings, I'm going to post the link in the comments. This is for AVGO or Broadcom investor relations page. So if you're a long-term investor with AVGO, you're probably very interested in taking a little bit more of a deep dive into it. Once you get to that link, you can scroll down to the December 11th news release, and then that'll take you to the press release. And some of the stuff I already went over, and some commentary from the Broadcom higher ups. And this is from the president and CEO. His name's Hock Tan. And they said in Q4, record revenue of $18 billion grew 28% year over year, driven primarily by AI semiconductor revenue increasing 74% year over year. I mean, this is just a monster company here in a good way. And they say we see the momentum continuing into Q1. That's why their guide, that lines up with them raising the guidance with this commentary here. So they see the momentum continuing in Q1 and expect AI semiconductor revenue to double year over year to $8.2 billion, driven by custom AI accelerators and Ethernet AI switches. And then they talk about the Q1 2026 forecast a little bit. The CFO, looks like her name's Kirsten Spears. In fiscal year 2025, adjusted EBITDA increased 35% year over year to a record $43 billion, and free cash flow was strong at $26.9 billion. Yeah, that is great free cash flow for sure. Based on increased cash flows in fiscal year 2025, we're increasing our quarterly common stock dividend. Oh wow, I missed that part. So the CFO says they're increasing the quarterly stock dividend by 10% to 65 cents per share. And the target dividend for 2026 is $2.60 per share. So yeah, I know it's not a lot, but it's something. And that's the 15th consecutive increase in annual dividends since they started the dividends in 2011. So that's fantastic. You can scroll down and see some of these line items here regarding net revenue, net income, and total net revenue and all that fun stuff there. But I'm not going to go into it too much. Their earnings web call for AVGO is 2 p.m. Pacific time. That's 5 p.m. Eastern, okay? That's the same time Costco is doing theirs. And it's the same time Lulu is doing theirs. So Lulu, AVGO, which is Broadcom, and Costco, which is Cost. All three companies doing their web call at the same time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So yeah, looks like we got our reactions. This was good here. Costco, a little bit of indecision going on with initial reaction was positive, which wasn't the real initial reaction. Then it sold off. Then it retraced back up 100%, and now it's just kind of hanging out. A little bit of chop city, like what my buddy Weiser said on X. So gonna have to wait till 5 to see if they get a secondary move. Broadcom, which is AVGO, holding up well. Positive reaction. They double beat, and they raised guidance. Just all around a recipe, a great recipe for the bulls for the earnings data. So congrats to AVGO bulls. Costco is still a question mark because we're waiting on the earnings call. And then, of course, Lulu. Let me see if they're still hanging out up. Oh, yeah, Lulu's actually outperforming both of these stocks. Lulu's up 11%. Lulu's up 21 bucks a share right now. They're up over 11%. So they're just continuing to make new after hours highs. So it's definitely looking like a grats to the Lulu bulls as well. And there was a little trickery right when the data dropped. It looked like it was selling off quite a bit. Actually sold off almost 10 points. And then bam, quick reversal to the upside, positive reaction. And now it's going on to make more after hours high here. I just want to look at the bigger time frame on Lulu real quick to see where there could be some resistance. Wow, so it's already filled this gap, folks. Look at that. I mean, it kind of started filling the gap in October, and then a little bit earlier this month, it kind of made a new higher high from this price action, if you will. But they had a big gap up to let's see, up to almost 200 bucks a share. So that gap is now officially resolved. That was unresolved price action. Now that price action is resolved. Gap is filled, and they broke above resistance. Looks like the previous resistance here from August was around 208. They're trading just above that right now. I don't know if you can see that blue line on my TradingView chart, but that's the post-market price action way up here. So now that it's cleared that, I mean, I could see this in the mid 200s if the momentum keeps up. I'll probably put my next level. Let me pop a volume profile on here, just see how much volume has come in at different levels over a certain amount of time. So let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, you can see the volume profile right here. This is where a lot of volume came in. Price is already above there. It's right around the $200 mark. A lot of volume came in there. So that could have been, that was basically resistance going into this earnings. It's shot through there, and it's holding above it pretty nicely. It's not like it broke it and came back down real quickly. When a level breaks, I like to see the price stay above it for a little bit of time, right? But the next resistance, I'll probably put that around 220 a share. So if this momentum continues, this might be an easy trade to 220 on AVGO. Trading just above 209 right now. I'm going to leave this white line on my chart because I think 220 is probably going to be the next level of interest. It may be a magnet right up to that level. We'll see, but I'll leave that line on my chart for now. I'll go back intraday. And Lulu is just off to the races right now. AVGO pulling back a little bit, but nonetheless, it's still up a little bit over $10 a share right now. It's up over 2.5%. So let's see if maybe this turns into a higher low. This would be your first higher low right here from back here from before it rallied. Let's see if maybe this prints a higher low. Let's see if the price stays above 416-ish. Around there. If that prints a higher low, I think it might have a good chance of making a new after hours high. And of course, we need to break this horizontal structure here. It's right around 420 a share. So post-market price action, if you're trying to trade shares with limit orders here in post-market, 420 is an area of interest. And then after that, it's going to be the 424, right around the after hours high is 424.10. So could be some profit taking up there. So just be aware of that. But yeah, looks like we got our reactions. Overall, I think it was a good mixture of stocks here. Again, Costco still up in the air a little bit. Just kind of frozen in time right now. Their earnings web call starts in 15 minutes. We could see a secondary move once they start talking about the guidance during the call. Broadcom, positive reaction. Congrats to the Broadcom bulls. And to wrap it up with Lulu, definitely a congrats to the Lulu bulls. I mean, even if you traded like a lotto trade, lotto call option or something, I mean, if you were able to get even somewhat close to the money, the deltas on those were probably really good. And you should be waking up to a nice surprise, maybe an early Christmas present tomorrow morning if the price holds up here. But Lulu's investors are really liking Lulu's earnings data, as well as Broadcom. But yeah, with that said, to wrap up the stream for tonight's stream, I wanted to go over some of the profits that our Discord members have been getting lately. So I'll just pull over the Discord here, and it's like my friend Xpern. This is actually a free member. Our free members actually make good money. So this free member brought in over $2,300 today. Congrats on that. Let me give you a fire emoji for that. The doctor. I've been trading with the doctor for years now. They've been with the Discord for a while. Nice 57% return on an ITW January call. Love to see it. Congrats on that trade, doctor. And got $180 profit from another free member, GFed. Congrats to you on that trade if you're listening. Nice 25% gain for Flame on another free member. Lots of free members posting profits. I love it. So one of our other coaches in the Discord, Mad Maverick, pulled in 1.2K on that. And yeah, we have a lot of fun in here. Pookie posting some profits. Another one of our members here, 101% profit. And that is the profit over the past 5 days. So congrats to Darkened Dwarf on the gains. Give you a heart emoji on that one. My buddy Baron brought in a nice profit here. And only 5 minutes of work. Yeah, I love that. I love getting in and out of these things. Another free member, Robbie Jr. 87. Shout out to you. This looks like a great gain on Oklo 101 call. Pulled in $1,000 on that trade. Very nice. So anyways, just wanted to give everyone a little peek under the hood on the Discord. We are making money over here. And if you're looking for a new home, check out the links in the description. I'm not here to sell you anything. You can sign up for free. Just see how you like the free section and then go from there. Then also, if you're looking for 4 high probability trade setups sent to your inbox every morning at 9 a.m., check that first link in the description. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. We all like free stuff. We've been getting great feedback on those trade setups as well. But had a lot of fun in this stream. It's been almost an hour. But my name's TheSwingingBull in the Discord. I'll put my name back up here. If you like the content, give me a follow. And I basically specialize in a little more of advanced options trading. A lot of my trades have more than one leg on it. I write a lot of contracts. So if you've ever been interested in writing contracts and just wasn't sure where to start, join the Discord and tag me in the chat. And yeah, 12 minutes until the Costco earnings web call. Appreciate that reminder from Wiser Investments on X. I'm not personally going to stream it, but I'll put the link back on the screen for anyone that wants to watch the Costco earnings web call. Boom, there's the link right there. Hopefully you have the chance to screenshot that, and that'll take you right there. But yeah, other than that, my name's The Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. And until next time, I'll see everyone in the next one. Cheers. Have a good night.